Hi everybody, the creative and wonderfully talented Björk has dropped Overlay. It's second track from her brand new album that came out in September the 30th. I remember it well. And it's the second track after Utopus, which I've reacted to and got a fabulous response. Thank you everybody. But I'm equally intrigued with this now because it's about a relationship, believe it or not. And Björk has talked about it herself extensively. So we're just going to go into, as always, a little bit of bio. And on Fossera.com, she has featured a conceptual diagram designed by Björk herself as the map of a relationship and explains that. It would be too long for me to explain, but I will give you what Björk says. Overlay for me is a definition of love. It's a meditation about us as lovers walking around this world. And I imagine two spheres or satellites followed us around. One above that represents the ideal love, one below that represents the shadows of love. And we ourselves walk around in the third sphere of real love, where the everyday Monday morning meet in the kitchen love lives in. That's what she said via and it's taken from Björk's 10th album, Fossera. Now, it was released simultaneously with its video directed by legendary photographer Nick Knight, who has collaborated with Björk in several works, such as the iconic cover, remember Homogenic, all you fans from '97, and the music video for the song Pagan Poetry was around 2001. But we go to today's thing, and she has this conceptual idea of what it's about, that at the top is the ideal, what would you want in a relationship to be. There's three parts to a relationship. The middle is the reality day to day, where it says real world, and below is the shadow. And I'll elaborate that on during the lyrics, because yes, it gives me a premise for what the song is about, but I'll still give you my interpretation of the lyrics and what I feel. And I will take into account why Björk has written it. So let's listen in its entirety without me stopping and starting. And afterwards, remember, I give you my interpretation of the lyrics. Take it away, Björk.
Alls floating, an oval of fuel in a dark blood red void, carries our digital selves, embracing and kissing. My skin might dance by you. I anchor our darks, I anchor our darks. Sleep with one eye open, watching our sub-selves. The keel of our ship, these obstacles are just teaching us so we can merge even deeper into our own personal mineral. Fuse alloy, ship ahoy. The hostility, a broken heart endures. The velocity of that injury is returned to the world with the same grin, showing teeth when with your romantic intelligence, the sensual tenderness. We dissolve old habits and place a glass egg above us, floating in the dark, blood red oval void. Our love making avatars in a shell.
Oh wow. There's so many thoughts going around my head at the moment, especially the last bit of that. That's the vein of the heart. Definitely. But we'll get to the lyrics. Ooh, I have to say, when it comes to art and living art, and we all talk about that, Björk encompasses that. She is everything about the spectrum that is, that ought to be, that could be, that should be what living art breeds, teaches, excites, and sucks us in to, which is the music, the movement, the expression. It's symmetry in motion. It's beautifully, beautifully done. And there's no other artist that comes close in the world of music to Björk doing that, except one. And I'm going to say her name, Aurora from Norway. She does it in her hand movements, in her lyrics. She also does it in her videos. Björk stroke Aurora are the two artists that I feature Aurora a lot on my channel. I didn't previously with Björk because she continuously was blocked on my channel, but now no. So I don't know, maybe a prayer to YouTube has worked. But I'm going to feature her a lot more. There's a lot more of this living art to experience, to enjoy. And I have always been fascinated. It's something I just get drawn to. Björk, congratulations on another wonderful piece of musical art. And that's all I can say. We're going to go into the lyrics. Verse 1 says, I have placed a glass egg above us, floating. So let's talk about Björk in a relationship. Let's keep it to Björk in a relationship when we start this, rather than it's me or it's Björk. So she's placed a glass egg above. So there's 3 levels, as she said, to a relationship. Floating. So there's the glass egg floating around 2 people coming together in a kitchen situation, as she says, morning, morning, and everything's lovey-dovey. An oval ovule in a dark blood red void. Think about that. We have to break it down. Oval, ovule. Ovule to me is an abbreviation for the word ovulation. Ovulation is related to, as we know, the biochemistry of the body when it comes to the physicality of it and the breakdown, stripping it down. We come to a woman has to ovulate. There has to be a process of intimate lovemaking, and then a child is born, a birth takes place. But before that, the ovulation is, she's describing excuse me. Oh, couldn't be more like this. Carries are digital waves embracing and kissing. So the ovulation is spread out here between the male and female. It's not just confined to the female, because that embracing, that kissing, that's sending signals, love signals, warmth signals, heart signals. It's the biochemistry that we don't know much about. people call it karma, other people go outside the box and they say it's electrified, whatever. It's basically chemistry. Verse 2 says, my skin mud dense by you, I anchor our darks. So already she's talking about any doubts, any fears, she's anchored them. That submarine that she says is the third level, the element of darkness. We know it as demons, or when we are in a relationship and we love somebody and something unfortunately makes us upset with them. What happens? We instinctively think the worst of them, of the situation, and some of us become a little paranoid. Some choose to remain silent, others choose to be vocal. In my relationship, I am silent, but my partner, he's always vocal. No, he's silent. What am I saying? Of course I'm the vocal one. Look at me today. But she's talking here about she anchors those fears. And a lot of people go into that with those fears. Even in this relationship, I never go in with anything. I don't have fears of relationship. I'm very, very cynical and black and white. If it's good, it's good, and we continue on, it's good. If it becomes bad, hasta la vista, because my partner is Spanish, I will leave. And that's it. I don't sit and go, how many years, days, hours I put into. I'm not one of those people, but they're 99.975% into 100 are. And they say that I'm cold and have no feelings. It's not that. Life is so preciously short that I have this thing of I continue, and when the right person falls in to place, and at the moment the right person is here, but if it fell out of place, I continue, and allow another person to come in. I anchor all. She talks about anchoring those demons. I have buried them. I don't even think of them because I want to be in a relationship with positivity and those electrified feelings, and not just confine it to one person, that if we break up I'm very cold towards the next person, to always carry them to the next person and the next, and just keep enjoying life and love. That's what I'm about. And she talks here, sleep with one eye open. You saw that on the video, watching our sub-selves. So she already goes into that split anatomy of a relationship on her 3 level. And if we go into the analysis of what they were, and I want to keep in tune with what she says. This is on this page that I'm on. I was going to go looking for it. She has, the top is the ideal. What do you want the relationship to be? And she's already up with that. She wants it to be ooey and chemistry, and then she goes into, and below is the shadow. So the attempt to remain in a relationship and keep it balanced and harmonious is almost like a delicate alchemy of adjusting here and adjusting there. Well, all relationships, Bjork, adjust. It would be silly and sad if we went into a relationship and didn't think we'd have to change a little, or if we were like I talk a lot in my relationship, but now I've curtailed it. I really have. I used to be all the time, but now it's just now and again, because my partner is the equivalent to being a dead wood. I mean, you really have to knock him sometimes, go, hello, are you there? I'm in front of you, do you want to speak? But he's always quiet. But I accept that. I live with that. So now I go around and I talk. So she talks about that. And again, there's no demons, there's no bad thoughts thinking, why is he always quiet? Or there's none of that. I would be in a crazy man's hospital if I thought like that. But she continues in verse 4, and this is interesting. The hostility of a broken heart endures. So she has a broken heart. These lyrics identify that she's in a relationship, but she's come from, so her submarine, her dark feelings are still here. And the velocity of that injury is returned to the world. Now remember in the video you had the girl that was twisted with her feet in the soil. That is you when you grow with a relationship. You grow and you grow and you're growing like the tree, like nature, the branches going into the soil. But equally we saw the figure of the woman in the crouched position and the soil covering her. And that is when a relationship is, you're being buried in emotion and the turmoil and all of that can happen in relationships. But hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not happening in yours. But it can happen, and you probably have a friend who's in that. And she said, with the same grin showing teeth. And people who, with that false smile, that's what she means, with the same grin. Yeah, everything is great, thank you. Oh, I'm so in love, and everything is just so wonderful. And they're wishing in their head you'd shut up and stop talking about their relationship because it's toxic, and when they're in a good, healthy relationship. And then she goes back to almost the opening line, in the dark blood red oval void, because up until this relationship there was a void, and our lovemaking avatars in a shell sums up everything. It really does for this song. Intimacy, sharing yourself sexually, was a task for Björk because of her childhood. The velocity of that violation, I feel, that happened to her. Something happened to her, or she witnessed something. Could have been a friend, but I think it was herself. Somebody violated her precious word about love and people. And when she went into this relationship, that intimacy that she's given is all contained in this oval shape. It's like, please treasure it, please love it, because I buried my past. The submarine still floats about, but I'm the captain of that submarine. I've kept it controlled. And when I share my body with you, it's trust, it's love, it's everything. It's the stratosphere of my existence. It's out there, looking down, going, this is what I've done. I've given you the biggest sacrifice I can give you as a person that I thought I could never give. So do respect it, do love it, do embrace it, please. So it's a very deep and meaningful song, even with a few lyrics, and that was my interpretation of the lyrics. Björk, congratulations. Thank you for all your previous comments. I hope you like, subscribe to my channel, and please leave your little comments in below as well. Looking forward to receiving what you thought of my interpretation. It was quite long-winded, but take care for now. Take care.